We are back. Thrones be the game. We are back in the building. Man, people have been talking about Bethany and everything on the chats. It's going out. We got the full crew. Let's go. Sleep. We got to start out the parenting. So everybody always laughs about our parenting situations, though. So now the great Daemon has dropped off one kid and said, I'm taking only one with me.
It be like that sometimes, man. It be like that.
But keep in mind, I'm going to have 3 more kids and 3 step kids.
Listen, it's a crowd, bro. It's a crowd. It's a lot going on over there, man. They on Dragonstone too. Ain't nothing to do. The girl that got dropped off might be get the best, the best out the bargain. Dragonstone kind of trash, bro.
No, Dragonstone's horrible. Stannis hated Dragonstone.
It's a horrible place to live, man. It's not Harrenhal, but it's right there. Like Harrenhal is really fucked up. Dragonstone's like right there. Like you don't want to live there. Like it's not a cool place.
All right, Pruitt, I go. How you feeling for this episode that just passed, man?
I mean, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed one particular scene that we're gonna get to, and what I liked most about it was I've complained about the writing throughout the season. I think this episode was amazingly written. I thought the scene was great. I thought the way they let the suspense and the tension build, even though it wasn't really action forward, I thought that they did an excellent, amazing job in that. And I really can't speak highly enough of how I thought the pacing and the writing was in this episode.
All right, Bethany, what are your thoughts?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. An amazing write-up to what's coming up. And the pacing, like Scott said, Pruitt, I go, with the Valerian wig on. Yeah, pacing was amazing. We've complained a little bit in the past about not knowing how many hours or years it's been, but amazing. 10 out of 10.
All right, let's jump into the story. We come back. Shout out to Valerians. They are battling over my man Corlys. My man Corlys is out there doing his thing, trying to make sure that the area is taken care of. But his brother's on like, but he died though. But he ain't dead. But he died though. But he ain't dead. Sleep, what you got?
All right. Before we can go in there, this was arguably, I would definitely say top 10. I'm talking about Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Might be top 5. Just the pacing and how it was written. But let's dive in. My man's ain't even dead yet. Like, he not even dead.
So we're doing a whole thing for somebody that ain't even dead.
Like, bruh, dude, the scoundrel. That's a scoundrel dick move. But again, he a second son. So second sons be on that bullshit sometimes. Like,
damn, man. Yeah, that's a whole. We need to do a whole podcast at some point on them second sons. Period.
They be on that bullshit because this is clearly a scheme. Like he willing to work with Allison too. Like he like, hey, whatever I need to do.
Third son?
Was he the third?
The third son. Because remember. Corlys was talking to Daemon saying we were second sons. So Corlys
you're right. Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? You're correct. And third sons ain't really shit either. If you're gonna keep it 100, so I'll roll with that.
But is the first son like an official son? Like he might die like 12. Like it's almost like your theory is still valid if this son didn't get to adult. Period.
I mean, Corlys has been, running Driftmark for like 30 years. So my nigga been running shit for a long time. First son been dead for a while. Like, I don't know how he died. They don't really even talk about that. But I assume it was how Corlys got hurt. I assume he was out doing what he got to do.
Yeah, because Dorne was fighting them for a minute. over that area and everything. So they were going back and forth, and he won. They like, I think he might be dying. We bringing him back.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos is not dead, but let's just establish that.
Yeah,
he on some bullshit. Like they really like the Masons might be able. The Masons might be able to fix him. He like, nah, he got that fever. He ain't coming back. I'm like, damn.
Or he could be playing that same game his son was playing. About wanting to make people think that he was gone or weaker than he was in order to try to get some type of advantage when he comes back.
I would even roll with that, but the brother don't know that. He on some bullshit. Like he on some but I feel it.
Bethany, jump in. What's your thoughts?
The second son, I feel like it's a euphemism for not first, right? Almost like the Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights saga. If you're not first, you're last. So the only son that counts in this instance is the first son. So second, third son doesn't matter. You're not first, right? But also, where did he get the nerve? Where did he get the nerve?
Clearly, Corliss has said for years the little white boy is going to be the heir. He done told everybody, like, fuck what y'all talking about. This little white boy is the heir.
Facts. And to his credit, Viserys, this was the only time he acted like royalty, like a regent. Because
we'll get that in a second. I got to get back to my man Daemon, that has decided that he only can have one child at a time. That is his responsibility. Daemon has split. He said, "You know what? I'm not good. I'm not a good father. I'm not a good father. I'm going to go have 3 kids with someone else, but I'm only going to bring one child from my previous relationship into this relationship." That's what Daemon does.
See, I read it differently though. Like I thought he was.
No. Daemon wants to not have any responsibilities for like these children. Period.
No, I believe that. I believe he doesn't want responsibilities, but I also think it was his attempt to persuade or to ease the pain of Rhaenyra for losing both of her children. So I thought that was his at least his opportunity to try to ease that pain. And so because he knows that the son's not dead, and
let me stop you. Okay. Also, is it that he already knew I don't want these kids? Let me figure out a way to get them out. Period.
Well, I think it could be a little bit of both. I mean, I think he's an asshole, and so but an asshole goes, I can kill 2 birds with one stone. Like you can raise this kid, I don't have to raise this kid. Yep. So I mean, but I don't think it was just strictly because if it was strictly I don't want to raise these kids at all, he can send them both. I think that he still he had some obligation to offer I mean, it's not very eloquent, but some type of peace between him and his former mother-in-law, in doing so. Because don't forget, it's his mother-in-law. It's also his second cousin. So I mean, there's a relationship there. So I mean, I don't think he hated her. I think her interests ran contrary to his own, but I don't think he wished ill will to her and her family and her house.
Bethany,
I agree.
Bethany.
Sorry. Yeah. Slightly different perspective. And that's a small issue that I take with the TV series. I'm a mom, right? And we've all read the books, right? So Daemon is actually very close to his children. And his daughters, Rhaena and Baela, are twins. And if you recall the episode when his wife Dracarys herself with Vhagar, Baela is his favorite. He sees a lot of himself in her. And the series cut out the scenes where he comforts his children, his daughters. He has a great affection for them. But in the series, Rhaenys, I apologize, the queen that never was, she has taken over as ward of his daughters. And Bela is the one who you see standing with Rhaena at Driftmark when Daemon is talking to her about succession. So she's really taken Bela under her wing. Rhaena's there, and he loves his daughters, but he figures, hey, Auntie got this. Like, I need to focus more of my energy on my niece, wife, and my nephew's stepsons, right? I just feel like that's where he feels like his attention needs to be because the greater threat is coming from that angle. So,
Sleep, you are my cohort on the Daemon is a nigga aspect, that he just dropped off one kid though, was like, I dropped off one though, and I'm taking one with me. Oh, you jumped in the boat, it's all good. Jump in.
Okay, so I'm gonna show some nuance as well. I don't know if Daemon's always just a nigga. He's just chaos. Like, Daemon is just chaos. Like, anything that you probably like, why would you laugh at your wife's funeral? Whether dude talking shit or not, like, that just ain't what a regular nigga gonna do. But he chaos. Like, that's not even niggerish. That's just chaotic. He's very fucking chaotic. But he does love his daughters. She's correct. Bethany's 100% right. The book or the TV show is changing some things around to make Daemon look like a nigga. Like, he definitely looks like
they are
a semi-deadbeat, because in the book he's not. Like, he's very protective. He's actually not as chaotic. I mean, he's chaotic, but they've amped it up. Like, they've made it like Showtime after 10 chaos. Like, he's chaos. Like, he's not that chaotic. Not all the time anyway.
That's a lot.
Yeah, he's chaos. I like what Pruitt was saying about, that is kind of an olive branch, to the Valerians and to his aunt, because I don't know what she is, to his family or his mother-in-law. Like, that is, I think, an olive branch. I mean, he could have sent her to spy. You never know. I'm sure it's not working. She's very close to her. But Daemon is not as shrewd as a Littlefinger or anything like that. But Daemon can pull off some plots when he wants to. It ain't his number one, like thing. He's chaos. But he got old boy out of town, cut off that herd, sent him down to Atlanta. Go live your best life.
Down to Atlanta.
He got him out of there. Like, when Daemon wanted to
do to Atlanta, so that's what he does. Sending out to Atlanta.
He went to Atlanta, man. You got to go down there. It's like the yellow brick road. It take you to Atlanta. Anything goes in Atlanta. Just live your best life. He free. I like Daemon a lot.
Laughing. Go ahead.
No, I'm cracking up at the comparisons. I agree with you guys, but I feel like Daemon is anarchy. He's chaos. If there's a choice to be made, he's going to choose the absolute opposite of what sane people would choose, right? So that's right.
It always works out for him, though. His chaos somehow works. It's very Joker-esque in the fact that there's chaos, but he always ends up like, okay.
Right.
Daemon's going to end up okay somehow.
Agreed.
Absolutely. He got them. He went and got them dragon eggs, though. Shout out to that. He went and got them eggs. He a real one for that.
He was that was. I feel like that was the one point of the whole entire series where we saw genuine joy. He was like, "Hey, I found Cyrax's clutch. The clutch of eggs. They're three. He repeated three twice. And the fact that he went to go get them himself, and he showed sheer joy for his three newborn children with Rhaenyra, right? Because his older daughters, his twin daughters, have eggs. One has a dragon, one has an egg that hasn't hatched yet. Well, as of 2 episodes ago. Yep. And he was just super excited. So I loved that 1 30-second clip of him being excited for finding 3 eggs for his 3 babies with Rhaenyra.
And that shows he does have love for his kids. they showed that just a little snippet, but they showed it, and that's a good thing for me.
Do you think that Silax is going to have the clutch that ultimately becomes Dany's dragons?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow. Woo.
I don't know. That's a good one.
Wow.
I don't think so.
You doing the double clutch. Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Doesn't Silax get 3 eggs stolen?
It's Syrax.
Yeah, sorry. He gets 3 eggs stolen. And those were then ultimately given to Dany as a gift when she marries Khal Drogo. So that could be those eggs that were stolen. They were just, no one knew how to hatch them.
I thought it was Dreamfire, which was Laenor's dragon. But
I'm asking.
Right. So yeah, whichever dragon, we may have the dragons mixed up, but yes, the 3 dragon eggs that were stolen.
With this, so those eggs are from Vhagar?
We don't know. No, the eggs that Daemon got this episode were from Syrax.
No, I'm talking about for Daenerys. Those Vhagar eggs?
We're asking. We don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to go to like a straight up Martin Wikipedia to find
that. Yeah, that's a deep dive. Right? That's a real deep dive.
It's a good theory though. I'm always down for a good theory, and shit, I fucks with it.
You talk about an Easter egg, literally 3 Easter eggs.
And a literal Easter egg. I love it.
So I got a question for y'all. When old boy popped up like I got a message, who got nervous? Anybody? I thought you about to whip his ass. I was like, oh no, Daemon about to whip another. Daemon don't like messages.
Daemon don't like messages.
Don't pop up in my
joyous occasion. He don't like no emails. He don't like no calls. He don't like nothing.
I thought it was a reference
to a crow. There was a reference to a crow this episode.
There was
Raven. I'm sorry. There was a Raven. There was a Raven. Yeah, sorry.
There was, yes. I thought Daemon was about to take dude out. I was like, fuck.
We've heard of the Ravens, but we have not seen visually a Raven this season. Have y'all seen it? I haven't, and I've watched every episode twice.
Got a whole concept that was the internet come into the game later on. Like that's how we get what we get to in Game of Thrones. The internet was created after this.
Yeah.
Daemon was killing messages and whooping their ass.
Genius idea that you had that the internet was created from the Ravens later on.
Daemon has proven one thing: you don't bring him no bad news, like no bad news. all good news to Daemon.
Facts.
Agreed. Facts. Absolutely.
But you guys hear who the message was from? It was from his daughter. His daughter sent that,
which is why I was saying she might be there, because Daemon like, yo, find out what the fuck going on over here, and if some shit pop off, let me know. That's why I got that connection from. Because I'm like, she clearly know how to get in touch with her daddy. she know how to get it, because then nobody else send them no messages.
Correct.
They didn't know what the fuck was going on, and wouldn't have known. It'd have been a big ass meeting in King's Landing, and they wouldn't have been there.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Right, so let's jump into a little bit of like with the situation going on with Corlys. Corlys is not dead. Corlys's brother is like, hey, I'm just gonna throw it all on the table. I'm gonna put my dick on the table, and I'm going to just give everything I know, and hopefully it's all good.
He took his shot. Shoot or shoot. He was taking his shot.
I don't know what made him think it was that sweet. I don't know what made him think it was that sweet.
He thought if he hugged up to Alicent and the hand that he was straight. Because the king been on the milk of the poppy for at least 5 years. So the king don't even do shit no more. He just high all the time. He just high and laying down. So he say, if I close it up to Alicent and the high towers, nigga, we in there. We good. Did not work, but he took his shot.
Go ahead, Bethany. You got something?
Right, Sleep. It to me was clear that he had been in communication with Alicent and the hand prior to what happened, right? And they basically guaranteed, yeah, don't even worry about it. Just come to court.
We got you.
Name, we're going to go ahead and side with you because the king, we're keeping the king drugged up on the milk of the poppy. We don't know the day, his name, none of that. And come on to court because he showed up to King's Landing with a regiment, walked in like, I'm here, I'm about to get my claim. And I don't think he's as concerned with the bloodline. I feel like he wanted Driftmark for himself.
He didn't like Corlys in general. He always hated on Corlys on the low. If you look at everything,
even at the funeral of Laena's funeral, he was talking that slick shit, you know.
Even before when the battle over everything going on over there, he was like, "Yo, we don't need to do it like that. Why are we doing this? You cannot trust them." He wanted his spot. Yeah. And Carl's not even dead yet, so they're arguing over his position that is not for someone that is not actually dead.
Right.
Because basically, I hate to say it, dead or not, Corlys was gonna die. If he got that, Corlys wasn't gonna make it. I'm gonna just put that out there right now. If he would have got it, dead or not, Corlys was gonna be dead. Yeah. Just put that out there. Corlys was done. It was a wrap.
Right.
Because he's in open opposition to what Corlys's wishes were. So all that fighting and scheming he did would be for naught if Corlys survives and goes, "No, actually, I'm gonna tell you who I want to be my heir."
Yeah, he was gonna take Corlys out. Corlys was done. That was a wrap. Possibly his wife too. He might have just. He came ready. I will give him this. The Valerians walk in with all swag. They come in with juice. I give them that. If they make an appearance. Ain't no motherfucking quiet tipping. They come in, nigga, we here. They the niggas, figuratively.
No, they are though. No, they are. No, they are. Like
literally, they are the niggas.
He's dressing like them in general. Period. Shout out to you, Pruda Igo. I appreciate you doing this. Period. That is us.
No,
like,
definitely.
Literally, like it's like, hey, you know what? We came from another place, though. We came on ships. We came on like it's all these different references of us being us as black. Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation.
And if you recall, the one thing I want to remind y'all is that in the canon, the Valyrians are the richest family in all of the kingdom.
Yep. The until they got jammed up, and then the Lannisters took over.
Right. The Valyrians got paper, long as train smoke. So just don't forget that.
Yeah, no. They came from the mud and they've established themselves, and they are those niggas. Like they are, you really cannot, fuck with them. And part of me was mad because I was conflicted. He was fucked up. But I'm like, he's a nigga. And these white boys is white boys. No disrespect to white folks. But I'm like, these are clearly not in that family at all.
He got too comfortable, right, Sleep? He got too comfortable, right?
And part of me wanted him to win a little bit, even though I knew he wasn't. Because I'm like, you know what? That is fucked up. Motherfucking Three Ninjas kickback is just two of them, but the two little boys from Three Ninjas, these motherfuckers get to be future king and run Driftmark.
That's yeah, but Sleep, the whole idea that you're trying to make a succession situation and we don't even know what's going on with Corlys, period. Like we have no definitive thing.
No.
This is all
he was wrong.
Conjecture.
He was wrong. But the nigga in me was like, I understood. You never know somebody that's wrong, but you understand. Like I'm wrong, but I understood.
But he messed up his code switch. He messed up his code switch. I mean, I was arguing. Like, he messed up the code switch, though. No, they're saying he messed up the code switch. Like that wasn't the place to make that move. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look, we all had some questionable interactions with police, but you understand that there's a place where you can be a little bit more comfortable versus, you're gonna be stuck on the side of the road in Bumblefuck, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? You play it a little bit cooler, like if you on, you down on King's Highway, then maybe, okay, look, some people gonna see me, so there's gonna be some things there. I can be a little bit more comfortable in expressing my opinion here. And he was at the point in time where he let his code switch drop. He was well beyond the point where he thought these people here got my back.
We jumping ahead. Let's not get there yet. But because he was, this is another situation where now it's been it's been established that he ain't got it. If Corlys live, nigga, he's dead. Not now. If Corlys live, nigga, I'm dead. And also, Daemon is going to fucking kill me eventually. Either way, I am dead. Look, third brother is like, at this point, he's like, fuck it. I'm gonna die quick. I'm gonna talk my shit, and I'm gonna make these motherfuckers kill me right now. Because if not, I'm looking over my shoulder until they kill me. Because one, Corlys finna be pissed, and Rhaenyra killed her own fucking husband. So if they kill this nigga, I know I'm done. And so that's one of those.
When you just play your position, just fall back and just sit there in the cut.
He couldn't. His
pride wasn't gonna let him.
But just like when you push Draymond, you gotta hit your hands up. Like you can't make that move and not have your hands up. That's my issue.
Go, Bethany. Go.
I'm gonna tell you, he pushed his position because he had been off camera. He had been assured by Alicent and Otto that you good. We got you. No, just show up and I won't get into it because we're not there yet. But yeah, he overplayed his hand because he was overconfident because of the assurances I believe he received from Alicent and Otto prior to. Because do you think he really went there without assurances to talk that?
Oh, you said when he showed up in general saying like, "Hey."
Yeah, but he said it at Driftmark, and even Rhaenys was like, "Careful, brother. My cousin might try to have your tongue for that. That's treason." Foreshadowing, right? She told him in Driftmark, "Watch your mouth." She told him.
He was already confident because he got the hand. He got the hand. Yep. The hand run shit.
Yep.
The hand is.
Ooh. Yeah. You said he got. So somebody sent the Raven, the World Star Hip Hop, to him saying, hey, we got you if you want to make that move.
He probably sent the Raven first. Like, I'm thinking about doing this.
Hold on, stop it. So, Sleep, you say he sent it first. Like,
I'm sure he did.
What's going on?
Yeah, because he had to test the waters. He had to test the waters because there's no way that Otto Hightower and Alicent are thinking about Daemon out in Driftmark. He was like, because Driftmark got that Raven first about Corlys. They had to have, right? Mm-hmm. And so Daemon, he's thinking ahead, probably, hit up Alicent and Otto like, hey, what's good? Like, we all know. We know what we know, right? So how about I go ahead and dispute the claim? They're like, yeah, we got you.
If you dispute this claim and you win, now when we dispute the claim, we already got precedents. Like it's helping them. If you can prove that they are bastards, basically, and that you have a better claim, well, guess the fuck what?
The red herring.
Now the other boy, if he's a bastard, then Big Brother definitely a bastard. Rhaenyra ain't got no fucking heirs. And she was technically fucking around.
It's the Game of Thrones.
Honorable.
It's the Game of Thrones.
It's the Game of Thrones. So he hit them up. I know it was him.
And I agree. That's probably what happened. My issue is that what he should have did was say, hey, look, my brother's not dead. Why don't you name me the warden until he's able to take over his duties as the master of ships? Because
the other son is like 13 to 14. Like he could have been like, yo, I'll be a warden for like 10 years and get my money up, and I'm fucking 70 years old at that point.
Right. He wouldn't have made
it.
He wouldn't have made it. Daemon is chaos. All Rhaenyra's got to say is we need to get this ward nigga out the way so that my auntie can keep doing shit like she been doing it. Auntie been running shit.
Yeah.
While Corlys is
right.
Auntie's been in charge, and she's doing whatever the fuck Corlys said do. If this motherfucker come in and he is allied to Alicent, he's got to die. Yeah. But if Daemon becomes the alt-right leader, now we can kill Rhaenyra and Daemon.
Hold on. So you saying that? You saying that he's MAGA?
I ain't gonna say he like. It wasn't an insurrection. He played a cult.
I'm saying within that world, like yo, like, we got to get him up out of here.
So he does not like his brother. We've established that. He really don't like that his brother had a gay son as the guy. He blaming his brother for all this shit.
Yeah.
Now the gay son got 2 white boys as kids. He really don't like that. And Corliss was going for it. Corliss like, before I didn't even think about picking you and your kids. You ain't even in a discussion. That's my son kids. That's what the world thinks. That's what the name gonna say. He from my, whether or not it's real or not, that's my blood. In the history books, it's gonna say my blood.
Yep.
If Corliss don't pass nothing on, Corliss is a footnote in history. Corliss was the king or whatever, a driftmark for a smidgen of time, but now his brother, the rest of the time, that's his brother's line. Same name, but that first, second, third son shit means something.
Yeah.
First son wasn't gonna pass shit to Corliss, so Corliss sure ain't passing shit to hit. The shit that happened to you, like being bullied or whatever, you tend to pass that shit on to the next person up under you. First son wasn't rocking with Corliss. Corliss got that because he died. Corliss ain't giving that shit up to his little brother ever. Like, ever. That nigga was never in the discussion. That either gave it to his fucking granddaughters before. Daemon kids might have got it before him.
Yeah.
He not even in that.
Yeah, you're right. On that we can agree.
We can agree.
So his only shot is to link up with the high towers.
Bethany. So you put the church finger up. So
no, I was just saying that part. I was just saying that part.
Oh, yeah. you were exclamation point on what he was saying.
Yes,
okay.
That part.
All right. Yeah. I want to dive into some of like the outside character things though. Aemon going against everybody at the dinner.
We skipping a lot, big dog.
We'll come back. We'll come back.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Aemon is super popular in the comments. Aemon is out here being a straight on American Psycho.
He's Wish Daemon. He's Daemon, but the Wish version. So yeah, he trying.
So you think he is Daemon? You think he?
No. He looks up to Daemon. You can tell.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, you can. I can see that. Yeah.
And Daemon sees it. And Daemon like, nigga, you ain't me. Daemon sees it. He's like, this nigga ain't me. Like Daemon attested this nigga twice in this episode. He like this little nigga, not me. He want to be me, but he ain't me. He tried too hard.
I like this time skip version of Aemon. I just really do. Like this time skip version of Aemon. Like, yeah, this dude seems formidable. He seemed like that. He seemed like TN. You know what I'm saying? That nigga you don't want to fuck with. So it's like I could rock with him. Like,
he's tougher than his brother. Huh? Aemon is tougher than Aegon.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
My only problem with Aemon in this episode was that I thought he overreacted to that pig. Like that pig is like 6. That joke is like 6 years, 7 years old. Like it's you already. You already got a hellified dragon out here. Like
but that's the same algorithm for people, and they live on one like thing of like that's the thing I'm going to live on like is my crux. It's the same algorithm for that.
No, I get it. His origin story. That's his villain origin story. That pig is what the road we get is from that pig. That pig started that.
Right, but I'm saying like that pig is as insulted as he was in the moment. That Jack walked like 6 weeks, like a month and a half later, he had a dragon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, get over it. Like
also the pig looked delicious. Can we say that? The pig looked delicious.
But no, this is the thing though. You gotta think this is a kid. We gotta look at it like he's been bullied by these other guys that are bastards in general. His brother bullies him. Everybody bullies him. He don't give a fuck about nobody because everybody don't give a fuck about him.
And I wish there was a show more that in the show.
Is it the real church finger at old Bethany?
That was the real church finger. Excuse me.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. But also, this is a 6-year time jump. He has Vhagar now, the biggest, oldest, baddest fucking dragon in Westeros.
He got the Coup de Ville.
He got the Coup de Ville. And also, we're going back a little bit in the episode, but it's clear while his oldest sibling, Aemon, has been out here banging servant chicks and showing his ass, literally. He's been working on his sword skill. He bested Sir Christian Cole in the yard, right?
Mhm.
So he's a very skilled warrior from what we can see, right? And he also has the biggest, baddest dragon. I need you to let the pig joke go, son. Pass me the fork and the plate. It looks delicious. Where's my portion?
That's all I'm saying. I mean, like, let's be honest. In that room, only Daemon could try him. Nobody else in that room but Daemon could try him. Nobody else.
Oh no, that's it. That's it. Nobody can fuck with him. No, you're right.
It's like I'm saying, like, dog, get over. You got the best dragon. You out here can throw the nice hands. And to her point, the pig looked good. I mean, like, he's not gonna eat pig no more. Like, is that what he's? Is that what he's gonna take all pork as a personal insult from now on?
It's like the chicken and the egg. That is what motivated him to become what he is. Without the pig, we don't.
That was the insult. That was the insult that propelled him to do what he does.
This is the moment in his life that made him say, "Fuck it." Because without this, we get a different dude. He don't even ride the dragon.
Okay.
He don't even steal the dragon. He don't get his eye cut. This nigga probably soft as a motherfucker if this don't happen. That
medicated cotton. Soft as medicated cotton.
But my question is this to y'all. My question to the group. Do we think Jace coordinated that pig's delivery? Or do you think he just saw him put the pig in front of him and just thought it was funny?
No, that's Aegon.
Aegon did that shit. It was Aegon.
Okay.
Aegon been picking on him his whole life. So Aegon did that shit then. He the oldest.
Yeah, but Aegon, they don't like each other in general, period. This is all like a incestuous thing of like, yo, like.
But think about how that scene played out. Aegon was hitting on Jace's betrothed. And then the pig comes out and he smirks at Aemon. And then Aemon stands up and he starts insulting Jace about.
I don't even think Aemon
that was
have sex at all. Period. I think
that was Rhaenyra's second born who kind of smirked and laughed. Not Jace. Help me with the name. Her second born.
The other twin.
Yeah.
The other twin.
Not
the second strong boy, right?
Yeah.
Let's just call him the second.
The Lord of Driftmark.
Yeah, the Lord of Driftmark.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't coordinate that pig going out there. He saw a pig and just smirked.
Twice. He smirked twice. Like the scene cut to him twice, and he was like, and that's what set Aemon off. That's what set him off. I feel like they just set that pig down there because he was sitting at the head of the table. Think of the spatial seating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aemon was sitting at this side of the table by himself. That was the head, right? And because Viserys, Alicent, and Rhaenyra were on the sides, as well as the rest of the grandkids and nephews were on the other side. So Aemon was sitting at the head of the table. I think they just set it there because that's where they were supposed to set it as servants. But he was also extra sensitive, so take from that what you will.
No.
So
he's a psychopath, but he's actually kind of soft because this pig's still hurting him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And his hubris and his anger is going to eventually end up being the end of him, which is what's fucked up.
Yep.
Because what made him what he is going to be his ruin eventually. But that's just how life works. Life is fucked up like that. It is.
So I'm gonna go to you, Sleeper, here with this. Shout out to the Crypt Keeper, the King. He had a last stand,
bro.
You put online. You said this is his best moment.
Listen,
I'm gonna let you at the table here. Here you go.
I cannot stand King Viserys as a king, or Viserys. Sorry, King Viserys.
Yep.
As a king, horrible king. Now, as a family man, my nigga tried his best all season to keep the peace. All he been wanting is for this Alicent shit and Rhaenyra shit to go away. This was his last stand, and he chose his daughter. He wanted the family to be okay at the end, at the table. But when that nigga came in that goddamn room, I'm gonna roll it back. When he saw her grandkids, his grandkids, the new babies, he was so happy. That nigga was high as a motherfucker. He was milking the poppy up, but he was so happy. And the kids started crying when they saw his fucked up face, and he was embarrassed. But he realized that, oh shit, I'm fucked. My daughter here, she told him what was going on. That nigga instantly started working out, getting off the drugs. He sat up, bring me some food. Like, I want to go to dinner. Like, he was ready. And he tricked their ass. He didn't say he was going to court, that he wasn't high no more. He said, I just want to go to dinner after that. I want to go to dinner. So they saw him getting ready and shit. They thinking he getting ready for dinner. They ain't even think about him coming to court. They're like, oh, this nigga, he might be hurting and not even make dinner, but go ahead, get ready. When he came in there and they did the announcement and he was coming down and he like, get up off me, I got this. That's the strongest he'd have been in his life, probably. Mm-hmm. He sat on that fucking throne. Once he got to the throne, the crown falls. And we get the symbolism of Daemon coming to his brother's aid and putting it on him. And that crown has been too heavy for him always. But if him and Daemon could have been on the same page, oh, the wonders that could have happened in Westeros. Because they do love each other. They just at odds. That first and second boy shit, they at odds. And he got there and he put his judgment down, and the High Towers was devastated.
Sick.
He devastated. Like, I'm talking about, his wife didn't know what to do. The hand, who shouldn't even be the fucking hand, a bad decision that he made. But, you know, he be making bad decisions. But right there, strongest he ever been. He was fucking rock solid. That whole episode, rock solid. Even the speech at dinner, he was rock fucking solid. He went out, hell of an actor. The actor that played him, you rocked that shit out. I think his name Patty something. I don't know. He rocked it out. Damn good job.
Bethany, jump in.
I agree 100%. This episode deserves an Emmy. The actor deserves.
Oh, she got cut out on us.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hello, everybody. We're good.
Yeah. Jump on in. Jump back in. Yep.
Emmy all around. Emmy all around for this episode. The actor, the scene. It was just as painful for us to watch him walk to the throne as it probably was for him to physically walk to the throne. The love that you can see between the brothers that really stood out this whole episode. You can see clips throughout from the beginning to the end of Daemon just kind of eyeballing his brother. He's like, and also he's looking and the way he kind of twerked off at Allison, like, I'm sure, he's so drugged up he can't even remember his name. And who's ruling? Oh, you're so comfortable in the seat. And also you flash back to that first episode, or maybe the second one, where he was like, where Daemon told Viserys, he was like, you never asked me to be your hand. I would have been your biggest protector. You never asked me to do it. Daemon was cast as a menace. I love the whole scene. Viserys came for his daughter. He showed up for his daughter. He called her my only child, knowing he got 3 extra kids out here, right? But Rhaenyra is who he believed in, and through his milk of the poppy induced haze, he knew enough from the night when she came. She was like, if you want me to bear this burden, you please defend me, defend my children. Mm-hmm. And he showed up. He
showed the fuck out.
He went to the throne and he was like, what are we here for? I'm confused, but loved it. Loved the whole scene. If this doesn't win an Emmy, I'm going to boycott the Emmys that I don't watch. So next.
Had on his Phantom of the Opera mask. That motherfucker was gilded in gold.
He walked in there dripping, ready. His whole half gold mask. He looked amazing. And you could tell that his vestments, right? His robe, the jewelry, the crown was weighing heavy on him. And it took everything he had to get to the throne and for his brother to escort him to the throne. I stood up off my couch and gave a standing ovation during that scene.
He finally chose Daemon over the hand, because the hand tried to help him. He said, "No, bro, I'm good."
No, the King's Guard tried to help him.
No, the King's Guard tried to help him first, and then when he got closer, he said, "Chill out."
I'm gonna sit the throne today. Bitch, get out my way.
Get your ass up.
Love
He
it.
didn't cut
Yeah.
himself. He didn't cut himself. Did
almost 4
y'all
minutes.
notice? He sat on the throne
For the once, he didn't cut himself.
and didn't hurt himself. I say, oh, you the king today. If you ain't been the king but one day,
And that's
you
what I
the
was
king.
going to say about it. It was super regal. It was 4 minutes because he that was the first time I saw him truly exercise his power as king. He's like, no, I'm going to be slow and you're all going to wait. And all these proceedings come to a pause and a stop until I get to where I need to be. And they pan everybody. And you see him struggling to get through it, but everyone else had just having to sit there uncomfortably and wait for him to, to labor to get there, and wanting to help him and wanting to offer some assistance to make it go faster and him refusing. And I mean, that was the most regal I've seen him all season. And again, for the writer's credit, to really make us eat almost 4 minutes of that scene, to watch him labor to get to that chair, and then ultimately, like Sleep was saying, the crown falls. And then when he was, casting away all the other assistants, when he realized that it was Daemon to help him, and he finally accepted it. I mean, I thought that was just super powerful. And it really showed kind of his devotion to the family that we get into that later scene with the dinner, that, how it wore on him, and how Rhaenyra's pleads to him when he was, he was all high on opium, got to him and really touched him, and brought him out that haze, because he was like, this is not just the politics at risk. This is actually the well-being and the lives of my family members. Which again, like I said earlier, this is the best ready episode that I've seen thus far.
Yeah, so let's jump into. We got 2 more topics going in. So Alicent takes him seeing Aemon in his dreams and his thoughts process, the princess promise. We know from everything we know that it's Jon Snow that he's talking about, that he doesn't know. He says it's Aegon, but Jon Snow is what, Aegon the 5th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
he's seeing Aegon because he's getting these visions of, because everything that's going on from the north. And a part of me is like, yo, like, why not focus on that to a certain extent though? And like, I'm talking as a writer of saying like, well, damn, that's your change up. So because they made Alicent be like, oh, it's Aegon. Aegon's the one. Keep in mind that there's another Aegon. There's another Aegon as a kid. She didn't even think about the idea of like, oh, he's talking about the other one. She automatically went to this. So therefore, she's playing the Game of Thrones with her dad.
No, we got to go back. We skipping. I know we got topics. She used to be super on honor, but then she got like mad religious, and she switched up the guides. I don't know if you noticed, but the 7 were everywhere. Like the
7-pointed star. She had the pendant on her chain pendant, and then Daemon said it. Oh, you took down all the Targaryen vestments just to make way for points and stars and shit.
She prayed the little prayer at dinner, with the 7. But when they do the speeches, she'd actually calmed the fuck down. Like, Rhaenyra did the little speech, and she did her speech, and Viserys gave a fantastic speech about, hey, we need to stop this shit. She'd actually calmed down. She didn't want Rhaenyra to leave. She was happy she was coming back. This is just a situation to where they gave that nigga the milk of the poppy again. He was off of it, but he went and laid down. They gave him the milk of the poppy. He don't even think he's talking to Alicent. He think he's talking to his daughter.
Correct.
From the night before. Correct.
Yeah, he thinks he's talking to his daughter. Alicent don't know shit about the prophecy. She ain't never heard of it. This is news to her. All she hears is Aegon. And of course she gonna think it's her son. I mean, I'm just gonna be real. This wasn't even a Game of Thrones moment. This is literally, my husband is fucking dying, and then he's saying his last words and shit. And I think he talking about my son. This wasn't even no bullshit. This was her just not knowing what the fuck is going on. Like, she really didn't know. Like, this she really was. It when he said that with that speech she gave, where she was like, "You'll make a great queen" to Rhaenyra, she was done. She like, fuck it.
She
God
meant
just
it.
want
She meant
God
it
just
at
want her to
the
be
time.
queen.
She meant it at the time, and I think Alicent heard what she wanted to hear.
This is also true, but it wasn't a Game
from
of Thrones
Viserys.
moment.
Right, and so the show has. Did we lose?
We lost him. He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Oh, okay, so the show makes a really good a point of making Alicent semi-sympathetic, right? Painting her as a kind of a unwilling victim. But we know, for those of us who read the books, that in the books, Alicent is about that life, right? So Alicent heard what she wanted to hear. And just because that's what she had been gearing towards this whole time. So she really thought he was talking to her about their son. We know
delusional.
we know
She just
he
fucking
wasn't, right?
Yeah.
And so like I said, it's super interesting how the show portrays her versus how the books portray her. And I'll let Scott go, or Pruitt, I go. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I agree that she heard what she wanted to hear. I thought it was unnecessary to give her that last little deathbed type of confession, because it wouldn't play to who he was just previous. It's like what we know about him is that what he has expressed on Milk of the Poppy isn't necessarily how he truly feels. Mm-hmm. So much so that when he got off Milk of the Poppy, he told us what he really felt in front of everybody. He told us what his real beliefs were about his family in front of the entire family. Then now you give him some Milk of the Poppy, and then in his delirium, then now you hold whatever he's saying in this moment to be, oh, well, this is his dying breath, and this is what he really wants. It's like, to me, it makes her more of a villain, because it's like, well, that's not what we just spent the entire episode trying to see. We saw him get himself off the Milk of the Poppy because he thought it was so important to express these emotions and these thoughts about how families should stick together to his entire family that was gathered there. And then, he gets high again. I would say, no, well, it doesn't matter. It's back to the infighting. I guess he didn't really mean it. It's like, it's kind of bullshit. Like,
I agree.
No. I think it's making her a villain too. I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. Okay. Like, it was done. Imagine something you always wanted. It's been snatched from you in real time. She saw everything she wanted fall apart, and she was content with it. She was like, fuck it. You could be queen. Rhaenyra was gonna never kill her kids to begin with. That was some shit her daddy put in her head. Right. That was never gonna happen. Rhaenyra did not want to kill them kids. That was never gonna happen. Rhaenyra said, I'm queen, nigga, y'all good.
Right.
So it was snatched away, and then she got a glimmer of hope when he was high. Mm-hmm. He was high, she got that glimmer, and she ran with it. Yeah. When it's like, she said, this is my chance. And I can honestly say I heard it from his mouth. Yeah. She heard what she wanted to hear, but she's like, I heard it. And she asked him several times, she was like, Aegon? You mean Aegon? Like, she was like, Nick, are you sure? Before I run with this shit, do you mean Aegon?
And he talked about the White Walkers. He was like, it's to the north, the prince that is promised. He was speaking in riddles.
Yeah.
So her son is a prince. That nigga named Aegon. Shit, fuck it.
Yeah, but they all named Aegon. Like every other Targaryen's named Aegon.
Like I said, stop naming all your kids Aegon. It's confusing. It's confusing to everybody. Yeah. But absolutely, Scott, you brought up a good point. Like, I love that point that you just brought up, and I hadn't thought about it from that perspective. But man, isn't a man drunk and high telling things that we want to hear? Isn't that all of our stories for women? Isn't that what all women believe? Y'all talking all that shit while you on that stuff, and now we got a whole situation.
What stuff are we on though? Hold on. What stuff are we on in your situation though? He was like literally like prophesizing. He's on PCP at that point. I
was just saying, like, that's the bane of all of our existence, is the man telling us stuff that we want to hear while they are intoxicated, right?
Yes.
The bane of all of our existence. That's it. I was just making a funny, and
Yeah,
it's true.
it's true. She heard what she wanted to hear, and she ran with it. He
Ran
can't wake
with
up and say no. He ain't like he's finna wake up and be like, I ain't mean that. That was bullshit. That nigga dead. He like,
or what he was meaning. I think he was talking about the future Aegons.
Yeah.
of course he was.
Yes, he was.
But
He
she
meant
don't know
Jon
that.
Snow. He meant Jon Snow, 197 years into the future. But because Alicent wasn't privy to that prophecy prior to that deathbed confession,
And
she
that's the
thought it
thing,
meant
though.
her.
She's
Yeah.
never heard of this. This news to her.
This is news to her. This is news to her. And she just took it and ran. And I think it's a clever bit of writing, actually, from the writers. That's giving us a convenient segue into what's going to happen in the future.
Agreed. I was gonna say it was done on purpose.
Mhm.
It was done to make her, she looks selfish as fuck. But some people are gonna be like, but wait. He said it, and she doesn't know the prophecy. This show is meant. It's gonna be the greens and the blacks. Some people there are Team Allisons out here. They are all over the internet.
They are.
They
Really?
they're a team Allison is very
Yes.
strong. They
Yes.
are very strong. And the whole realm is going to be split. Half of the realm.
I mean,
is
I
gonna
know
be
that,
Team
but I'm talking
Allison.
about and us as viewers, like
There are Team
see
Allisons
what
out
it
here.
is.
Yes,
Yes.
a whole bunch. There are lots, as it should be. It was written in the books that way to make you be like, the blacks ain't that fucking great either, dog. Like Rhaenyra's be on that bullshit,
No,
and David is
I
chaos.
know. We find out later on that she be on that bullshit. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, ain't no winners in the Game of Thrones. You just got to pick the side that you like. Both sides be doing bullshit. So, I mean,
No, that's real because there's people that fuck with the Lannisters. There's people that, if we talking about the old OG series, but I do let's jump into something that I was thinking about. We saw in the series on early in this. What do y'all think about how they set up everything for where we are now and versus the future? But then the prince that's promised.
Well, I mean, you talking about just my interpretation of the story, or some?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's like a part of it is like, should Viserys have told them any of this beforehand? Period. But is he's only supposed to tell the heir?
he's only supposed to tell his heir.
Yeah.
At the same time. But
The
then
way
it goes
it's
back to a
only
situation
the heir
about
is
2
supposed to
episodes
know.
ago that he should have stepped down earlier and just let this happen.
Well, I mean, I think him getting his head clear was him expressing his wants and desires to everyone. I don't think he thought his wife Allison was going to be as ambitious as she was to, like Sleep was saying, hear what she wanted to hear. And how could he know that he was going to delusionally be high later on, seconds before he dies? You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he didn't foreshadow that. But then I think from a story standpoint, so I believe they're only going to do maybe about 4 or 5 seasons. So from a story standpoint, they kind of got us to this season started all the backstory, all the history and context we needed about these relationships. So when they actually get into the blood and guts and killing, then it makes a little bit more sense so they can spend more time in the nuance of there. That's my hope. But then again, season 8. So I don't necessarily know, whether or not
It's only supposed to be 3 seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this story is only supposed to be 3 seasons. They're going to do another 3 seasons for the beginning of Targaryens, and then they're going to do another one like around Duck and Egg.
3 seasons seems like it's going to be
Duck and Egg. Yes, I heard 4, but we'll go with that.
Yeah, but it's going to be smaller. It's not going to be drawn out. They're going to get it in real fast, basically.
I mean, the true book covers like a lot of years. This stuff takes place in the middle of the book. Like this ain't even the beginning of the book. So they have a lot.
They're gonna try to do the beginning when the original Aegon Targaryen comes in general period.
So I mean, so he really thought he was talking to his daughter. One, you can only tell the prophecy to your heir.
True.
So ain't nobody else supposed to know. This literally just supposed to be you tell the heir. Because I mean, that's some big fucking news. One day, everybody would
But
just
she didn't
name it.
understand what he was talking about with the White Walkers. She was like, she just only keyed in on Aegon.
Yeah. Imagine you start telling motherfuckers this that ain't your heir. Nigga, that's some doomsday shit. That's a conspiracy theory.
But no, she didn't even think about this. She only was like, what do you mean, Aegon? What do you mean, Aegon?
Listen, she heard what she wanted to hear. Like she had a glimmer of hope and she ran with it. But could you imagine if they were just going around telling people this shit? At some point, somewhere, some zombie niggas are gonna come out the north, and Aegon's gonna be the one. Like everybody would just keep naming their kids. It'd be way more fucking Aegons, honestly. Everybody be Aegon.
Yeah.
My son is the guy because his name is Aegon. Like you can't pollute it like that. So, like it is what it is. She just happened to pick Aegon, and his dumb ass should have been like, "No, we shouldn't name him that." He makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
Because he could have put his foot down a long time ago when that baby was born and be like, "No, we'll call him Lawrence or some shit." But she said Aegon, and he was like, "I love you, Allison. Fuck it." He's a great fucking family man. He's a happy wife, happy life ass nigga for the most part. Unless his daughter's involved. If his daughter not there, Allison get what the fuck she want.
Yeah.
So she was like, "We're gonna name him Aegon," and his goofy ass was like, "Sure." Not even thinking about the damn prophecy. He probably won't even think about it. He's like, "This shit ain't gonna happen for at least 50 years in his mind." He like, the North great. Ain't shit going up there.
They ain't called me.
They ain't called me. They ain't sent no ravens. Ain't nobody popped up. Shit good. Like it's good.
Until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't. But what's crazy is all of this stuff has to happen.
Yeah.
For Jon Snow to come. It's one of those things that it's like all this fucked up. If you change it, the shit don't work out right.
Jon Snow went through a lot of shit to get where he is.
Yeah. No, I mean the Targaryens, period, go through a lot of shit to get to Jon Snow. And but all of those things have to happen. Daenerys has to fucking be raised somewhere else and get the Dothraki. Like all these things have to happen for this shit to work out. How she has to have the Unsullied. Because I'm sorry, Westeros armies are they soft. Like she had to go get like all of these things have to happen for them to get to Jon Snow killing Dany. As fucked up as that is, like Arya has to become a fucking assassin,
super assassin,
for her to kill the Night King. If these things don't happen, like, so as fucked up as it is, Allison's just doing. She's just a part of the prophecy. All this shit is preordained. It's a prophecy. All this shit has to happen like this, and it's fucked up. But when you get that in your mind that it has to happen, you're just like, okay, like it is what the fuck it is.
Like Biggie said, somebody got to die.
Somebody got to die.
Martin was a lot of people, well, Daryl knows because he's watched The Wheel of Time, but Martin was a huge fan of this book series called The Wheel of Time.
Yes.
A lot of things that he included in Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire have the same sort of symbolism. There's the dragon reborn in The Wheel of Time. There's the Prince That's Promised, which is a dragon in Game of Thrones. Like a lot of the things that Robert Jordan used, Martin made them his own, most definitely. But it deals with like a Jesus figure that will come some point in the future. And
is that the show on Amazon? I think I saw that.
It's on Amazon. We do a review show. Me and Sleepy do a review show on it.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, so even the themes of dragons and things like that, they kind of both use them. Like, I mean, it's very, if you read both books, it's super prevalent. You're like, oh shit. Robert Jordan did that shit. But in a not Game of Thrones way. R.R. Martin, like he did a great fucking job of modernizing things. It's got blood, gore, and way more sex. It's a sexier Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time is a classic Lord of the Rings type fantasy. This shit is sexy. It's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be gore. Niggas be cussing. Like main characters fucking die. In fantasy, main characters don't die. Like Martin said, I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna make it mine. He did a great job. But Allison she heard what she was supposed to hear, and she had to hear it. If she don't hear it, we might not even get a Rhaegar. And if we don't get Rhaegar, we don't get Jon Snow. So it's really fucked up. So I get the Greens. The team Green feel like Allison just doing what she's supposed to do. I would protect my sons at all costs too. Like I get that. She trash. I don't care what nobody say. Allison trash as fuck. But I see why people like her.
I don't. But I understand her motivations. I don't see why people like her.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll fool with it. Can
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
jump in.
I have like a unrelated point to make. So
do it.
I just want to tie it back to Game of Thrones. Do you guys, and I had to look it up on my phone, which is why I was looking down. Game of Thrones. Do you remember Shireen Baratheon?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. She was sacrificed
Yep.
by her father and Melisandre.
Most are supposed to be in this series though too.
Right.
Yep.
So I make 2 points. Daemon's mistress from the beginning of the series, she made a brief cameo in this show.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the servants from the Red Keep or the King's Landing reported to her. I feel like she's like the master of whisperers, and we'll see more from her. Not 100%.
She's Melisandre. You doing this conspiracy theory?
I don't think she's Melisandre, but I think Melisandre will show up here shortly. But if y'all remember Shireen when she was teaching the Onion Knight. Oh God, come on, y'all, help me remember his name.
Onion Knight works just fine.
Okay, the Onion Knight, when she was teaching him how to read, she read him the Dance of the Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
If you recall. And I'm not going to read it, but she said the Dance of Dragons is the story of the fight between Rhaenyra Targaryen and her half-brother Aegon for control of the Seven Kingdoms. And there's lots more, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it reminded me, I'm like, Shireen talked about this. And if you recall, when Joffrey was engaged to
Sansa.
Your girl.
Sansa.
Nope, not Sansa.
Tyrell.
Marjorie. He was all excited, showing her things in the Red Keep. He's like,
he had a dime. That's like going to the club with the dime. Like, I'm gonna go to the club. I'm gonna be stunting.
And so there are a lot of tiebacks to Game of Thrones for those of us who watched it. I watched it twice. I watched it again before House of the Dragon came out. And I was just like, oh my God, there's so many references for things we didn't know, right? So just things to be on the lookout for. And
it's lots of cool things. Did y'all notice how Aemon is missing the eye? He's blind in one eye. But then Aemon, Rhaegar's brother, is blind at the wall.
Yeah.
That part. And can we talk about Helena? Helena, she never gets talked about. We know she's a seer, right? I'm sorry. What do they call it? A dreamer, a dragon dreamer. She's a seer, and
just like the original Aegon with his wives, that
his sister wives
that was able to know what was going on. Yep.
Rhaenys and Visenya, right? Those were his sister wives.
Yeah, and the third kid that they're having is named Visenya. That's coming up soon. Yep.
Correct.
So, Daryl, you've seen, again, going back to what I was talking about, Wheel of Time says that everything will happen over and over again until you get to what's promised.
Yep.
Correct.
Game of Thrones does that too.
Yeah, it does.
And I think that's very cool. Like, I like to see like that cylindrical thing that things are going to just keep happening until you finally get it right. That's dope to me.
No, that's real.
What do y'all think where the beast beneath the boards means?
I have two theories. I do not want to speak on either of them.
Oh, man. I don't have any theories. I wanted to hear them.
Oh, okay. All right. If you insist. So, okay. So my first theory.
Keep it vague. Keep it vague. Just
keep it vague. And this is very vague because I don't have anything to tie it to. So you recall the rat that has shown up in a couple of episodes. the actual physical rat, the beast, right? An animal. It shows up in a couple of episodes, kind of running along the mantle. And so I feel like it could be one of two things. A metaphorical rat, like a snitch. And I feel like there's a snitch out here. I feel like there's a snitch. And I have an idea who that snitch might be, but I'm not going to say. But also, too, let's not forget that there are people who can warg into animals, right? People who can warg into, Brandon Stark, who was able to warg into the three-eyed raven and ravens. And also, too, when the wildlings were, when Jon Snow went beyond the wall, one of the wildlings was able to warg into another eagle or a bird or a hawk. And I don't know if it's someone warging into a rat or it's a literal or a hyperbolic interpretation of a rat. I'm not sure. Those are my two theories. There's a warg somewhere, and I have an idea of who it may be, or it's an actual physical hyperbolic rat, and I have a version of who that is also. So beware the beast beneath the boards. That is indicative to me of someone who is hidden, but able to hear and see what's going on and report out on those things. But that's me.
Okay.
All right.
Man, you going heavy. You going heavy with it,
Yeah,
man.
hey, that was good.
No, I love it. I love this.
I love theories. Like I love.
Probably wrong on both fronts, but we'll see. We'll see.
No, I absolutely I love both. I got nothing because I got nothing to base it on. So I'm going in eyes wide open, just waiting to see what it is.
We'll find out, right?
Did we have 10 episodes this season, or is it just the 9?
It's 10.
10. So this was 8, right?
Yeah.
Sunday was 8. So 2 more episodes. Oh God.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the podcast. They took a clip from us, Game of Thrones for You. They took our clip where we predicted a small. Remember when we were like, "Hey, this is going to happen." Not the Daemon thing. The Daemon thing is got his own thing that is being a black man, being Daemon, being extra on that accord. But it was more of saying like how we were like, hey, this would think with Lenore, the timeline changing, something else is going to be changing too. So we can't, us as book readers, can't be maybe attached to it because something else may be changing along the lines.
Oh yeah,
totally agree. Yep.
Now that they've already veered a couple times actually from the book, now I can go in and just enjoy it. Because at first I was literally for the first couple episodes, it was really following the book
down the line.
But then they started doing some other shit. And I was like, you know what? I enjoy the other shit has not taken away from the story. If anything, now I'm like, well, when is he coming back? I'm like, if Corlys does die, this nigga pop back up. Oh shit, that's a new wrinkle. Like, I actually thought he was gonna pop up. I was like, I don't know how he's gonna find out. I didn't think. I mean, I knew Viserys was gonna do what he did, but I thought his ass was gonna pop up like a jack in the box. Like, maybe I'm back, like old boy from Living Single. But it didn't happen.
I thought Rhaenyra was going to tell Rhaenys that her son was alive to kind of sweeten the pot.
She couldn't
do that.
She couldn't.
I'm just telling you, that's what I thought. I ain't saying.
I know, and I wanted her to, but I understood why she couldn't. Right? It's just a whole thing. Oh God.
What is kind of still dope though? It's like, our last topic I want to talk about is Daemon saying, "I'm dropping off one kid, and I'm going to take another kid." That they ran out to the car and was like, "I still want to go with you, Daddy." He's like, "All right, cool. I guess you want to come." The other kid was like, "This was in the back, and didn't even know that you was leaving out in the station wagon." And you go have you got step kids. You also go have 3 more kids. and it's supposed to be all good. You Daemon.
Nick Cannon.
No, it's different than Nick Cannon though, because he
It
was
is.
literally.
It is.
It's
I
different.
agree with both of you. I agree with both of you.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
I like it. That was great. I chuckled. Shit.
Hot mess. And it's funny. Yeah, we get it. But I talked to Pruitt I Go about this earlier and maybe yesterday. And I was like, the one thing I hate that I don't like about the series is that it doesn't show, and I think I said it already tonight, it doesn't show the interaction between Daemon and his daughters because he loves them. He cares for them. Does he favor one over the other? Yeah, because the girls are twins, right? Baela and Rhaena are twins. He sees more of himself in Baela than he does in Rhaena. And Baela is the one who Rhaenys, their maternal grandmother, takes as her ward, right? And so, Rhaena's just kind of hanging around, just having a good time. But more to come. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
I truly think because that's the daughter he's closest to, that any time some shit go down, she's letting her daddy know all that shit.
Yeah.
Like
she's the one who sent the raven. She's the one who sent the and also too at the dinner when and you got to watch it maybe twice just to see this. But when Aemond stood up and made that raggedy toast about, to my nephews, you guys are handsome and young and strong, and it was a whole almost kerfuffle
with y'all boys. That was the key to he's like y'all boys.
No. The key word was strong.
Strong.
Their daddy name was strong.
Yeah.
That part. And so everybody was ready to knuck if you buck again, like they did in the cave when Aemon stole Vhagar from Baela. That was her mother's dragon. She's like, that was mine to claim. He's like, yeah, well, you didn't. But if you watch it again, Baela had to be held back by her sister. Her sister was like, Baela, no.
Yeah.
Before Daemon was like, hey, wait a minute, everybody. And Rhaenyra was like, hey, everybody go to your quarters, like right now, go to bed. And Daemon and Aemond did the face off. Just shortly prior to that, Baela had to be held back by her sister. She was like, Baela, no. Because Baela was ready to knuck if you buck again. She is her daddy's daughter. So
no, she's absolutely like two peas in a pie. She's not chaos though. As a girl dad, my daughter, that's my road dog. Like I don't even know if my son would be that close to me.
Yeah.
Like my daughter be, if I'm trying to do anything, she trying to come
on go. I'm an old daddy's girl, right? And I'm here for I'm here for the shits. I'm here for it. My brothers, my cousin. I don't have brothers. My sister, my cousins, my extended family is in my younger days, because now I got too much to lose and I have a job and bills to pay. But it's on go. Like what's good? Scott's the oldest son. Are you guys the oldest kid? Firstborn son?
Firstborn.
I'm the oldest. Firstborn. We get it. It's on go for our siblings, our cousins, all of those things.
But as Sleepy says, that second
part where they were like, Baela, no.
But as Sleepy says, that second kid, Aemon, is the one that will mess up your family. If you don't have him right, that's the one.
So Aemon, he really just wants to be
like Daemon.
Yeah, because Daemon wasn't ever going to be king either.
Yeah,
like his brother, son too. No matter how much his brother fuck up, and Aegon's a fuck up. Like Aegon, he raped somebody. That nigga a rapist. Like he be jacking off out the window.
More than one.
Like he don't even really want to be king for real. Like he don't.
No.
Like
he don't want it.
He don't even want the shit.
But Aegon
ready to go. Though. I mean, Aemon. If Aegon died, Aemon ready. He ready. He'll go try to kill. Daemon punked him. Definitely, Daemon punked him. But he had just saw this. He had just saw this nigga slice off somebody's head with one fucking swipe.
We haven't
So, I
talked
mean-
about that. Why haven't we talked about Daemon slicing off?
I didn't want to see it. I don't want to talk
Daemon's
about black man getting
and
killed. I
telling
don't
him
want
he
to talk
can
about
keep
black man
his
getting
tongue. I'm
killed.
sorry.
Like we skipped, like no, him calling her a whore with his chest like that, it made me laugh. Like we skipped all
Go
of that.
into
So
it. Let's
many
go.
funny
Let's go.
things
Go into
happened
it.
in
Let's
that
go into
scene.
it. Our last 10 minutes. Let's go. Go into it. Let's go. So
You go ahead, young lady. Give us your thoughts.
I'm saying Daemon got real extra, and you know he's like, though I will not have my thing by, and Daemon was like, say it, and we as a Black Coalition understand that the dare is a real dare.
fuck around and try. Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around, find out. I'm done.
Energy. Yes.
I'm done. Next.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I didn't appreciate him talking all that mouth without knuckling up. I mean, like you gotta be prepared. You couldn't walk into the Red Keep talking all that kind of mouth and then acting like it was gonna be sweet afterwards. Like,
Or you got your crew around you though.
yeah, I mean,
he knew he was gonna die.
that was a
He
head on.
wanted it quick. He said, "I'm gonna just die quick."
That was a head on the swivel.
Well, one, I'm gonna disrespect the king and his family. The last thing I'm gonna do is this, because it's law that you can't say that shit. The king made that a law a couple episodes ago.
Treason. It's treason.
It's treason.
Treason.
Like he made this, so can't nobody in the kingdom talk about it in public. What you talk about in your house is in your house, but you can't say this shit in public. He made sure he said this shit not only in front of Rhaenyra, but in front of Viserys. Like he knew he was going to die. He
got gassed up too by Allison and them though. Like, yo,
That
we
part.
got your back.
That part.
He got gassed up, thinking that they're gonna have his back. Like, you know what? No, go do you, dog. No, we got you on the back end.
Once
Don't worry
Viserys
about
came
it.
in there, once Viserys came in there,
It was
that
bad.
the big, he realized he had the little Joker, not the big Joker.
Right.
He had a Joker.
That's a great one. That's a
He
great
had a Joker.
yes.
He got this a book. This is a book right here. But he wasn't counting cards. And
Yeah.
Viserys walked in as the big Joker. His little Joker wasn't shit, but you still got to throw it. You got to throw it. He threw it. He was hoping that Allison had the big one. She didn't.
She
Viserys
did.
had it.
She didn't.
And he took it.
You got to renege at this point.
He
Renege.
took it.
Renege.
I think we should end it on that analogy because that right there, ain't nobody's gonna come up with a better take than that one.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it. Sleep, where can people hit you up at?
Hey, I've been active on Twitter again, so got to go to sleep with an underscore. I've been talking about actually this a lot, so it's mostly this. So if you want to hear me talk about this, follow me. Got to go to sleep. GOTTAGO, the number 2 SLEEP, little underscore. Let's talk about.
I know you don't want nobody to hit you up though, so I'm gonna skip you around the thing. Bethany, people loved you on the last episode. I know they're gonna love you on this. Yo, you were great, giving great insight, everything that we appreciate. Do you want people to hit you up social media wise?
No, I'm not on social media. If they want to hit me, you can holler at Sleep.
All right.
Okay,
Sure.
so all right, so
address everything to me and I'll pass it on.
You can hit us up, Lando Cal Pod on there, everything. So if everybody has any discrepancies, it's me and Sleep, basically, right?
Facts.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take it. We all good with it. And we'll be back next week. Look, I'm making a call right now. We're gonna do the final episode for 10 at the crib. We're gonna do a live stream here at the crib in the studio. Everybody's coming through. I already got it condoned with upper management.
Right. Wife.
Y'all know who the upper management is. The upper management is already said it's cool. For episode 10.
I'll bring company for upper management.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing the upper management. Thank you. So that will be live. We're gonna do it live.
All right. I love it. I'm here for it.
We're gonna do it live. Bethany, I hope you don't live too far. I
do, but I'll make it. I'll figure it out. We'll work it out.
Yep. All right. And we will be back for episode 9. We'll be back soon.
See y'all next week. Bye.
See you next week. Bye.